All right, diving in again with another deep dive. This time we're going self-help with a guide called 7 Surprising Things That Will Change Your Life.
Oh, yeah, I see this one's been making the rounds.
Yeah, pretty bold claims, right? So we're going to break it down, see what's in there.
Always got to separate the wheat from the chaff.
Exactly. So we got our notes, highlighted the interesting bits, ready to dig in and see if any of these so-called truths actually hold up?
Looking forward to it.
All right, well, truth number 1 is everything changes.
Ah, a classic.
Right. The book is saying change is the only constant, like, no duh, right?
Well, it seems obvious, sure, but maybe there's more to it.
Like what?
Well, think about it. If we resist change, we kind of get stuck, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
But when we can go with the flow,
Yeah.
adapt, that's where we can really grow.
Interesting. So it's not just about accepting change, it's about using it to our advantage.
Exactly. It can open up new opportunities, help us understand ourselves better.
Yeah. So listener, think about an area of your life where you've been resisting change. Maybe instead of fighting it, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this change to grow?
Now, that's a powerful question.
Right. Okay. Truth number 2 is your thoughts shape your reality.
This one always gets people talking.
I know, right? At first I was like, come on, it's just some motivational poster stuff. But then I started thinking, maybe there's something to it.
Well, think about the placebo effect.
Oh, yeah, good point.
People's health actually improves just because they believe they're getting treatment, even if it's just a sugar pill.
Wow. Yeah, that's wild. So are we saying our thoughts can really have that much power over our experiences?
The guide seems to think so. It talks about raising your vibrations, which I guess means cultivating positive thoughts and beliefs.
So instead of focusing on what's wrong, focus on what you're grateful for.
Right. What if you started replacing that negative self-talk with positive affirmations?
Yeah.
Like training your mind to see the good instead of just the bad.
I like that. So listener, what if you tried that? What if you consciously chose thoughts that empower you? How do you think that would change your reality?
See, already thinking bigger. All right, truth number 3. Everything is connected.
Okay, this one gets a little out there.
Yeah, the book starts talking about energy frequencies in physics, but I think what they're getting at is we're all part of a bigger system, right?
Like we're all connected somehow.
Exactly. Think of it like a ripple effect, right?
Okay, I can see that.
Every action you take, no matter how small, it sends out these ripples that affect the people and things around you.
Wow, so we're all influencing each other all the time.
In a way, yeah, it's a pretty mind-blowing concept.
It is. So listener, if everything is connected, how does that change the way you view your actions, your relationships? It's something to think about, right?
Definitely. And speaking of connections, truth number 4 is all about untapped potential.
Now, this is one I can get behind. We all have so much more inside us than we realize.
Absolutely. We're all capable of amazing things.
Like, look at history. People who overcame incredible odds to achieve their dreams.
But so often we limit ourselves.
Right. We get stuck in a rut, let fear hold us back.
We start believing those limitations that society or even ourselves put on us.
So true. Listener, I challenge you. Think about one thing you've always wanted to try but have been too afraid to do.
It could be anything, big or small.
Exactly. What's the tiniest step you could take today to get started? Write it down, tell someone about it, and take that first step. You never know where it might lead.
And to help you along the way, truth number 5 is the present is all there is.
Oh, the power of now. This one's all about focusing on the present moment.
Letting go of the past, not worrying about the future.
Right, because the present is all we really have, right?
It's the only place we can actually live and experience things.
It's so easy to get caught up in regrets or anxieties, but the present moment, that's where the magic happens.
And there's a lot of research behind mindfulness, which is all about paying attention to the present without judgment.
Yeah, I've heard that can help reduce stress, improve focus.
It's like hitting the reset button for your mind.
Love that. So, listener, what do you do to bring yourself back to the present? What's your go-to technique for quieting that mental chatter? Share it with us.
All right, moving on to truth number 6. You are never alone.
This is a powerful one. Now, the guide talks about connecting to a higher power, but that might mean different things to different people.
Of course, for some, it might be a spiritual connection. For others, it's about finding strength within themselves.
Or maybe it's about leaning on your support system, your friends, family, your community.
The point is, we all need support and connection, especially when things get tough.
It's a reminder that we don't have to go through life's challenges solo. We've got each other.
And that brings us to the final truth. Love is the answer.
I can already hear the eye rolls.
It sounds cheesy, I know.
But maybe there's more to it than meets the eye.
Right. What if we dig deeper?
So what are we talking about here? Romantic love.
Not necessarily. It's broader than that.
Okay, so like compassion.
Yeah. Empathy, understanding, forgiveness, all of those things.
Choosing kindness over judgment, connection over isolation.
It's about realizing that how we treat each other, how we approach life's challenges, it all matters.
Because our actions create ripples, remember?
Exactly. Small acts of love and kindness can have a huge impact.
So listener, what's one small act of love you can do today? It doesn't have to be grand, just something to spread a little positivity.
Even a simple compliment can make someone's day.
So there you have it, the 7 truths from 7 surprising things that will change your life.
We've unpacked them, looked at them from different angles, and now it's your turn to reflect.
What resonated with you? What surprised you?
And most importantly, how will you put these truths into action? So we've gone through these truths, and what do you think so far? Anything stand out to you?
Yeah, some were kind of like, duh, I knew that. But others, made me think a little deeper.
That's the thing with self-help. Sometimes it's about reframing what we already know, seeing it in a new light.
It's true. And it's interesting how these truths, they kind of build on each other, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like take that first one. Everything changes. Once you really accept that, it can make the other ideas, like your thoughts shaping reality, easier to swallow.
I think you're right. Because if everything's always changing anyway, then your thoughts and beliefs can actually influence the direction of that change.
Right. You're not just a passive observer. You're an active participant in how your life unfolds.
That's pretty powerful. And then you add in the idea that everything is connected. Like, whoa, suddenly your thoughts and actions have this ripple effect that goes way beyond just you.
That's where it gets really interesting, right? It makes you think twice about how you're impacting the world around you.
Big responsibility, huh? And speaking of responsibility, that ties into the whole untapped potential thing, doesn't it?
Totally. Because if we're all connected and our thoughts have this power, then realizing your own potential becomes even more crucial.
It's like instead of feeling small and insignificant, you start to see yourself as this powerful force for change.
Exactly. You have the ability to shape your own life and the world around you.
But then you got to bring it back to the present, right?
Yeah.
That's what the present is all there is all about.
Absolutely. All that potential is useless if you're stuck in the past or worrying about the future.
It's like that saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now.
Perfect. You got to start somewhere. And the present moment, that's your starting point.
And then when you remember you're not alone in this, that you have support, inner strength, maybe even a connection to something bigger than yourself.
That's when you find the courage to actually step into that potential, to face those challenges and make those changes.
Like you said, we've got this whole toolbox of powerful tools, but we gotta choose to use them,
It all comes down to choice, doesn't it? The choice to change your thoughts, to embrace change, to tap into your potential, to connect with something larger than yourself.
And that brings us back to love is the answer, which I'll admit sounded kind of cheesy at first.
Yeah, it's easy to dismiss, but I think there's real depth to it.
So what are we really saying here? Because it's more than just romantic love, right?
Way more. It's about compassion, understanding, forgiveness, even in the face of, difficult situations.
It's about choosing kindness over judgment, connection over isolation.
And remember, all those actions, they create ripples.
That's right. So when you act with love, you're actually contributing to a more positive, harmonious world.
It's not just a feeling, it's a way of being, a way of interacting with the world.
So we've gone through these truths, looked at the science, the philosophy, even challenged you to apply them to your own life. But there's one more thing.
We want you to really think about this. If you could truly embody one of these truths in your life, which would it be? And why? That's a big question,
Yeah.
right? Which one really hits home for you?
And then what? What do you actually do with it?
Because, these truths, they're not just nice ideas.
Right. It's got to be more than just thinking about it.
They're meant to be lived, to help us live better, be more genuine, connect with ourselves and the world around us.
I like that. Lived, it's not about being perfect, right? Just taking those ideas and actually doing something with them.
It's about those little changes, those daily choices.
Like one act of kindness, one moment where you're really present, that's a good start.
Absolutely. Just like, that butterfly effect thing.
Wait, is that real? The butterfly flapping its wings and causing a hurricane?
It's more of a metaphor to explain how even tiny things can have big consequences.
Okay, so no literal butterfly hurricanes.
But the point is, our choices matter, even the small ones.
Wow, that's kind of intense when you think about it.
Right. Especially when you consider everything being connected and how our thoughts can shape reality.
So we got to be intentional, right, about what we're putting out there.
Exactly. It all adds up.
So, listener, think about it. What's one truth you're taking away from this deep dive?
And what's one small step, even a tiny one, you can take today to make things a little better? For yourself, for others, for the world.
This has been quite the journey, hasn't it? Exploring these 7 truths, the science, the philosophy, it's a lot to take in.
It is, but remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
We're all figuring it out as we go, and we're definitely not alone in that.
And hey, that's one of those truths, right?
Exactly. So keep those questions in mind, keep exploring, keep diving deep, because there's always more to discover.